Greetings and welcome to Armored Core Reforged, the series where I take the preset ACs of the game and optimize them to the best of my abilities, preferably making them viable in PvP. The process will consist of me going over the original build, then I will go over the upgraded version and all the thought behind it. And then finally, me and a volunteer will do a final PvP test to see which version of the build is indeed superior. As well as after this video goes up, I will be making a community post where you guys can vote as to which preset will be the next featured on Reforged. But all that said, you have yourself a very good one, and enjoy. Greetings, and welcome back to Reforged. Last episode, we took a look at Gun 3, and in that episode, as per usual, I asked y'all to give the Reforged variant a new name. And I think the best of the bunch is definitely Ryujin, meaning Power of the Sea. Although when I put the name into Google Translate, it translated to Dragon God. But honestly, both names are pretty dope, and they're quite fitting, especially when you look at Gun 3's emblem. But with that out of the way, we are now taking a look at the end of the Red Guns, the G1 himself, good old Michigan, hell on 4 legs. So let's do our best to give him one hell of an upgrade. Alright, and as we can see, Michigan is a heavy tetrapod, heavy artillery, close to medium range AC. For the primary weapons, we have the Gatling gun. This weapon has kind of fallen off in recent times, unfortunately. It's still pretty solid for constant staggered buildup at close range, and quite devastating even at that. You can absolutely shred people if they're on stagger on direct hit. But honestly, its bullet velocity is just not that fast, allowing most builds to just kind of move to the side and dodge most of the bullets, especially if they're decently far from you, which they probably will be because you're quite heavy running such a Gatling. This pretty much means no one's going to get close to you until you've overheated your Gatling guns, which can be good if they are a close range build, the enemy anyway. But if the enemy is a kite, then yikes, not very good indeed. Next, we have the Explosive Thrower. This weapon is nuts for close range stagger buildup and great damage. As well as its reload is incredibly fast, that being of 3.1 seconds, allowing you to use this quite often to get a lot of value out of it. And it has great synergy on Tetra legs, as when you're in hover mode, you don't actually stop to use it. Only downside is that it doesn't actually scale with melee spec. For shoulder weapons, we have the Split Missile Launchers, SPL-16. Basically, they're really good at medium to long range, however, their reload really does not do many favors. As well as close range, they're almost useless. And then lastly, we have the Songbirds. Similar to the minigun, this is another weapon that kind of dropped off after the launch of the game, or at least it's dropped off in more recent time, as you pretty much need to barrel stuff to confirm value out of this weapon. Its travel time is not very fast, it has no detonation, so it makes it very easy to dodge at even a medium range. But on barrel stuff, it's pretty solid, but you're better off going with something like an earshot or something other. For frame parts, we have the Varel head, very high statted part, as well as a Melander core, very good statted for its weight. And the Melander arms, same story, and of course the trademark Varel legs. Which with the Tetra's hover ability allows us to use most of our things like the Songbird and the Explosive Thrower without actually stopping in place to fire them, as well as Tetra kicks are indeed very good. And that is because the kicks have mighty distance, mighty damage because of how much they weigh. The more you weigh, the more damage your kicks will do. As well as the kick recovery is quite decent. For inner parts, we have the PO4. This is pretty much on all the red guns, a great all-rounder booster. For FCS, we have the PO5, the max medium range assist. For generator, we have the Santai, an absolutely go-to generator for natural regeneration and capacity. However, our EN load, as we can see on the bottom right, is almost at EN shortfall, which means the natural regeneration for this AC is going to be very, very slow. And for expansion, Pulse Protection, which is definitely a choice. And when it comes to the playstyle of this build, use a couple of Assault Boost kicks to get the height advantage, go hover mode as most heavy ACs would have you, although you might want to get more of a medium range. And then yeah, just fire out all you have anytime you have. Might be tricky getting the Explosive Thrower to work at more of a medium range, but if you use the charge attack, you'll definitely get more range out of it. But yes, this is original G1. Let's take him into the Forge. And here we are, G1 Reforged. For the primary weapons, I ended up switching the minigun to the Zimmerman, as I find most ACs that have a close range and a medium range or long range weapon, you're better off just going double of either or, versus having a split in between, because, you know, most of the case, say you have a medium range weapon and a close range weapon, your medium range weapon can work medium to close range, but your close range can only work in close range, so you might as well double up on one of them. And for this type of AC, tetrapod kicks can definitely work quite well with close range combat. Next, keeping the Explosive Thrower for that close range damage. For the shoulder mounts, I ended up switching the split missile launcher for the siege missile launcher, as its reload and lock-on is much faster with similar damage. Overall, this weapon's its tracking is nuts, its versatility is great, and honestly just makes for a much better missile launcher. Only sacrifice is that you have to end up switching to it every now and again, but thing is, we're using a Zimmerman on the same hand, so it won't really be much of a hassle. And then lastly, we have the plasma cannon Fasan. Originally, I was going to switch the Songbirds to the Earshot, but I decided to go one further and just switch the Earshot to the Fasan, as it has very similar reload time, as well as its damage is actually higher if you land the full charge shot. As well as the charge shot fires at the speed of a railgun, making it very versatile to hit very big opponents or just big groups, meaning this build could be very devastating in 1s or 3s. And for our frame parts, nothing really too specific, just a lot of heavy statted parts, considering with a speed or with a heavy Tetra, you're not really going to be looking for speed outside of your boost speed when hovering. So 370 is honestly pretty quick for a Tetra, indeed. For inner parts for boosters, if you're going to 1v1s, I recommend the Coral Booster, as it has fantastic stats for upwards thrust, normal thrust, quick boost thrust, and duration, meaning when you're in hover mode, you'll travel quite the distance, and it will be quite decent indeed. The reload time as well will match up with your weight, although obviously 90,000 to 100,000, the ideal weights are pretty generous indeed. However, if you're going to 3v3s, I highly recommend the Bristle Booster, as it will allow you to use as assault boost to get to the fight as fast as possible and get that damage in. For FCS, going with the Ocellus, as close range is our new primary range, and switching the generator to Coral, as we need the capacity to run all this tech, as well as Coral Gen allows us to hover in the air for a lot longer and use a lot more boosts, meaning we're a lot more elusive and can use our weapons more effectively. And for expansion, switching to the much more reliable and usable Pulse Armor. Now, the playstyle of this one is similar to the last, although a lot more aggressive. You will definitely want to always charge up the Fasan, fire missiles to initiate the battle. Either use the Fasan as a stagger punish, or just use it out raw to get some good stagger build up. But yeah, no, just Zim, an explosive thrower, and occasionally charge Fasan and missile launcher. And they both come back near the same time, so you don't really have to worry about juggling those two at all. And yeah, just let it all rip. But yes, this is Reforged. Me and my buddy Shattered will now do the PvP test. Shattered will be piloting the original G1. I shall be piloting the Reforged. And we shall battle to see which variant is better. Alright, let's see if original Mishi is just the superior build, or we'll see if we can't make him
his main problem is he just put on more chunk.
Oh yeah. Put on more chunk. Maybe better weaponry.
Son, I know what that's going to be.
Yerp.
Ow.
The chunk is insane.
Chunker man, ow.
Chunky man.
Aha, pulse
No!
protection.
Whatever will I do, except for don't go there anymore, dear God. He's butter boy. Oh, I guess that gives me time to...
This is a tangible strategy. This thing is such an ass.
It lasts for a while, though, honestly. It lasted longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be upset if it didn't have, like, a time. It's just you had to do damage to it to make it go down. Interesting. Ah, okay.
God, I have such ass Ian supply.
No, you don't. Real cannon.
Stay with me. Stay away. I'm too fat. I can't get the
Pew pew. Oh, but why is better?
God.
Bombs.
Fucking. My EM supply takes like actual solid 3 seconds to regen to full after emptying it.
You shall go burr.
That's just always on Nick, yeah.
Oh ja, det är en nickjade over there. Gurr.
There we go. How's the real inside here? Aha!
Dear God, not pulse protection. Pew pew pew. Should just have this uncharged by passively, but I'm not.
Oh, my thing went away. That's bad.
Not good.
That hit you? It did. Nice.
Just a wee bit. I also have to struggle with keeping in the air, but it's probably just a lack of experience of doing such a thing. Oh, GG. Misplayed,
I
misplayed.
forgot how fun patches are.
They're pretty dope.
You know, in previous games, that shooting energy weapon actually took chunks out of your Ian.
That's pretty dope. I think I barely heard of that. Weapons took your stamina. It's kind of crazy.
Hey, how's it going?
I had a dude. No directed damage for you.
Aha.
No!
I'll never get past this. Uh-oh.
No one can deflect the Emerald Splash, nor the Pulse Armor of the gods. Dear God. Not Pulse Armor! Pulse Armor OP.
It's impenetrable fortress.
It is quite the conundrum that is the Pulse Protezione.
There it is, that's it.
Madrid. Yeah.
I'll just wait for the sun, because I can't stay close to you.
Oh.
I'm just too fat to dodge it.
Yeah, it seems like Sun wasn't doing a whole lot there, but honestly just because of the chunk. But yeah, no, it's nuts. Alrighty, that is it for this episode of Reforged. And with that, we have now upgraded all of the red guns. And with that being the case, I am now going to be doing something new in the Reforged series, and that is, at the end of each chapter, meaning, for example, the red guns, I will now be making a build utilizing the very best parts from all of the red gun ACs, making a type of red gun prime. And you can thank this comment for inspiring the very idea. So yeah, this should be pretty fun. I will be making a community post to ask y'all on whether or not you guys think we should make the Red Gun Prime made of the parts of all of the original Red Guns or all of the Reforged variants. I'm definitely intrigued to see what y'all think on that. As well as, of course, a new name for G1's Reforged. I'm most excited for the names in the comments below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Please do check out Shattered's comics and artwork. I'll have the links in the description as per usual. So yeah, y'all have yourselves a very good one. Peace.